It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
We gotta fight the powers that be. Got so many voices. Saying all the same. Giving up all around me.
Yeah, we gotta fight the powers that be. Let me tell you, what's the powers that be? We gotta find out. And it's one thing I want to, as we're fighting them, there's going to be... there's always schisms. I mean, because that's just the way human beings are. But I'm telling you, when you have something as important as an anti-war effort to stop the mass killing of people, and you can get people to come together and say, you know what, I'll put my name on the list. Here's an article. Here's two. Here's three. How much I say we should be against killing, you would think that would bring people together in the focus of that effort. But I have to ask Dr. Walsh the question, how's the coalition that was brought together under ComeHomeAmerica.us, how's this doing? Is the coalition, or is it building? Is it there's schisms? Is there focus by some people to try and use it to do something else? Give me, how this came together and how it's progressed and where we're at now with this effort.
Well, I think, for one thing, we started out... We had sort of a strategy here. First of all was to have the conference, which took place in February 2010, about 40 people in Washington, D.C. From that, we produced a book which says that we can do something serious, and at least it's a book, it's something out there, and it's real. Then the third thing we've done is we've sent out a letter. Mentioning impeachment of Obama, not calling for it, but mentioning it, as that the Libyan war is an impeachable offense, and it calls on the President and the Congress to stop the wars. And we left all other issues out. And we looked for signatures, and we were very impressed by the number of people from right and left who signed on to it. And there were people like very liberal Cornel West, who was very enthusiastic about Obama. He signed on. We found more and more people, retired ambassadors, retired military people. We started out with a couple hundred. Anybody now can sign up on the website. Just more and more people came in, and I was encouraged that a substantial number of people who had a diehard left agenda were willing to come in also. So I thought that was great. Not the doctrinaire left, not the rigid. They think of themselves as Marxists. I don't know what they are. Of course, they didn't sign on, but we've had a very broad spectrum of people signing on, and I think also we've stuck to our agenda. We haven't wandered off into anything else. And the next thing, we'd like to have a very large conference of about, hundreds of people within the next half year. Of course, that requires raising money and so on and so forth. Now, what impact will we have? What can we do next? Where will we go with this? It's a work in progress. And I think one thing we have to do is somehow come up with a strategy to show that we can have some impact and some effect. And I think, frankly, I hate to say this, but let's be honest, I don't think we've come up with that yet. I think it's a work in process, and I think a lot of it is experimental. We'll either hit upon it or we won't.
Well, what has been the people that have been involved in this thing? What has been their desire? I mean, has there someone risen up, one of the originals, saying, we need to use this to fill in the blank? Or are they trying to stay on message of the anti-war? Are they trying to bring in other stuff? Are there schism people say, I break with thee, I'm going over here and doing whatever? I mean, what's going on inside?
No. I think some of us would like to have the whole organization involved in the Ron Paul campaign, but there are obviously, at this point, difficulties with that. I wish there weren't. But there are tax difficulties. There are a lot of problems. So right now, that does not appear to be where we're headed. But so what will we do? What will we do next? And I cannot say after the major conference what we will do. We are looking for ideas. But on the key question, I think, of whether or not people are willing to stick to this as opposed to wandering off into other areas, whether they're willing, even though we may occasionally discuss some political philosophy where we differ, by and large, we don't do that. And by and large, I think there's a lot of respect. There's a book, The Road to Serfdom by Hayek, and which is a sort of a classic statement of a free society with the free market. And it's interesting, if you read that, Hayek in the introduction says, I'm addressing this to my friends who are socialists. I'm not going to fight with you. I just like to lay my arguments out here. And I think in that atmosphere, that a lot of respect develops and a lot of commonality. And I think we have that going. Now, is that enough? Who knows? I mean, it's not all, sweetness and light, but by and large, it has been. So I'm encouraged, but I don't know exactly whether we'll try to take up some electoral programs, try to get some people elected. And we're not in this for the short term either, because it isn't just the wars that are going on now. What I'm very concerned about is that we are on a collision course with, if we could be on a collision course with China. We don't want to do that. We don't want to repeat the Cold War all over again. It's just...
Oh, some people want to.
Some people want to, but I don't think we can afford to. So there again, by the way, the libertarian philosophy is great. Is that if goods cross borders, armies won't. That's great. That side of things is if people want to compete economically, cooperate economically, that's all to the good. So I'm very worried, and we're very worried about the long-term prospects of some. We escaped the Cold War with the Soviet Union. We all came out of it alive, thank goodness. Let's not keep experimenting.
The one thing, and this brings up a good point, you'll have a lot of the libertarians that are listening. I know what they're just saying. Come on, Ernie, say it, man, say it.
Go ahead.
And it'll come out like this. When you have goods crossing borders and so on, there is an atmosphere that allows that to be done in a peaceful way. It's fair. It's equitable. It's individual to individual, the proper role of government defending the property rights of individuals, yada, 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 yada. And you would have, from the left, oftentimes they'll want, well, it needs to benefit one group over another. It needs to be where, like even on a local level, on a city level, you'll have, well, the sidewalk concrete contract has to go to a business owned by a minority, a gay, or a woman. I mean, that kind of thing. And you'll have all of these kinds of managing of the commerce that they want in such a way for some kind of social justice. Or it'll be, so that's when you start getting into where the libertarians are going, whoa, man. We want to maintain the peace. We want to have to where we're integrated in such a way that we're not having war with these people. We're doing trades and so on, but we don't want to have war amongst ourselves. This is where the libertarian philosophy always raises itself up in the rhetoric when you have, like you're saying, the libertarian philosophy of maintaining a peaceful relationship with another country. There's a base philosophy that goes deep behind that we have to educate. Sarah, I just spilled my stuff all over. We have to educate people into understanding what that is. And you're right. We are consistent. We are, very much in this for the long haul, and we do understand what is hopefully would bring this entire culture and atmosphere around. But I just, it's hard for me to, as you would disagree a little bit with Angela, you don't have to check all your philosophy at the door, but I can see where we're going to be much more influential to the left and the right with libertarian rhetoric because, of course, we believe it and believe it to be true and it works. Freedom always works, and I'm going, I don't know how susceptible you're going to be to that or how welcoming you are when it starts to penetrate and influence generation next in comparison. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, that's that's all okay with me because I'm always for. I don't know. I think that on these issues we may stumble a lot, but we'll work our way forward. And I'm fine. I would rather have if I had to disagree with anybody and say I want somebody in charge that I disagree with, I would prefer it to be a libertarian, because then I know that I'm not going to be locked up in a torture chamber or have my freedom of speech shut down. I can't be sure of that with the crowd that's in there now. As a matter of fact, in the long run, I'm pretty sure I won't have that. So, can I just? I wanted to say one thing before we go.
Sure.
Because I think that, and that is, I don't know. People talk about the Chinese. The Chinese are always saying it's socialism, whatever they mean by that, because I'm not too sure, with Chinese characteristics. Well, whatever society you're looking forward to, it's going to have distinct characteristics of your culture and your own society that reflects its history. And our future society, whatever it is going to be imbued with libertarian characteristics, because that's our history. That is the way people speak in this society. And so that's what we're going to have. And if people can't adjust themselves to that, then they're going to be on the losing side. And I think when you look at the anti-war movement, since that is the way people speak and think, in large part, then I believe that the libertarian right and the paleoconservative right too have the key, have the words, have the concepts to reach the American people on opposition to war, which I'm afraid the left does not have. So I agree with this fellow George O'Neill, who's one of the people who provided a lot of support in the beginning for Come Home America, that the key, the road, the main road to this is through the libertarian and the right. So you guys have a lot to say about what's going to happen here.
And one thing, and I appreciate it. Appreciate that observation. And you would imagine, from our perspective, we know that, and it's inevitable. In the end, freedom always wins. It just gets really messy first. Well, to help us keep the mess at bay and it not hopefully get bloody here at home, Dr. John Walsh. Thank you for coming on, Doctor, and it was a great conversation. Hopefully, we'll be able to visit with you again in the future. We'll talk to you.
Great program.
Thank you very much. We'll get this right to you. We'll be right back tomorrow here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. We'll talk to you then.
Don't stop.